in transit. The NDP has made it very clear since the beginning we have money to invest in transit and to complete projects. And I have made it very clear that I will definitely advocate to have the light rail come all the way out into Canada and not just end at Moody Drive. And the other thing that I wanted to just touch on is that the Liberal government has put us further into debt in the last 4 years. And the projections that have come out says that in the next 4 years, their budget still won't balance. They're still going to put us further into debt. About $20 billion, I think, was the number. So I'm not sure why there's only two choices here between more in debt and a lot of cuts. So I think that it's a bit of a scare tactic to say that there's only two parties here to vote for, and a little disrespectful to the other parties in the room as far as I'm concerned. So I will start by telling you a little bit about who I am and why I'm here, because it's often what people will ask. So I did grow up in a small rural town. I was not born in Ottawa, and kind of learned the value of community from a small town of only 1,000 people, and working together and helping each other out, and really learning from other people that have more experience than you. And I moved into Ottawa, into Canada, when I was 17 years old, and so I really understand both the rural and suburban areas of our riding, because we're not all just in Canada. We have quite a few rural members as well. And I grew up, my parents were small business owners, and I understand and appreciate the need for good contracts, the need for good supply and demand in business, and the need for people to have disposable income to spend in local businesses and not just go out to online businesses and Amazon, but to walk down the street and spend their money in the community that they live in to grow that economy. And that's really important. And people often lose sight of that. Without that disposable income, businesses can't grow, and they can't keep growing and staying in communities, so that's important. And as a single mother living in Canada, I really feel the pressure of having, when I had to buy a house, those housing costs that keep rising, daycare costs that are through the roof in this city, and really making that decision between, can I go back to work, or can I afford my mortgage and daycare at the same time? And I really understand those struggles that people have. As a leader in my workplace, I understand the negotiation process. I've negotiated contracts, mediated many times in my workplace, and taken a lot of that information to make change. Because coming to a mediated result and not implementing it, you don't make change. So you have to have that capacity as well. Trained employees, written policies, implemented policies, and I was taught at a really young age that you can't just complain about something if you're not willing to do something about it. And so that's really why I'm here, is to do something about it. And I worked at the Ottawa Hospital for about 15 years. And as a scientist, as a medical microbiology technician at the hospital, I firmly believe in science-based targets for climate change. Without that, we're just guessing that we might hit our target. We have to be firm in those targets. And the NDP is going to invest in clean technology research, retrofitting federal buildings, exchanging out their complete fleet of vehicles by 2025 to zero-emission vehicles. And they're doing a lot of these things to lead by example before they ask Canadians to do anything on their own, because a lot of Canadians can't afford it. They're going to get businesses to invest in clean technology as well. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about in this election is championing head-to-toe health care. Because without pharmacare, without dental care, without vision and hearing care, we don't have that head-to-toe health care. Without mental health care, we don't have that head-to-toe health care. So our plan will roll out pharmacare and not just do research on it for years and years and years, starting in 2020, because it needs to happen, because people need to be invested in, their healthcare needs to be invested in, because it shouldn't just be the wealthy that get to be healthy in Canada, it should be everyone. We're going to invest in sports programs for children, because if you keep children healthy and you keep them active and you keep them off streets after school hours because the families can afford them, then you keep them healthy and you keep them productive in Canada as well. I think one of the big barriers to a lot of women, which I have experienced, in deciding if they're going to go back to work or have a family and have a career, if they can at the same time, is childcare. And we need to address affordable childcare in this country, because it's a big barrier for a lot of women when deciding if they're going to have a family, and if they do have a child, if they can even go back to work. So we need to invest in that too, so women don't have to choose. We're going to invest in 500,000 new units of affordable housing. will guard against pension theft and bankruptcy. And what happened to the people of Sears and other companies who've paid into pensions for years and years and years and want to retire, and now they can't because their company has gone bankrupt, and all of that money is gone because big companies get to get paid first. And that's kind of shameful in Canada. We should be taking care of our own, and the NDP wants to address that issue. One of the biggest things that I'm hearing at the door, climate change, I'm hearing a lot of things like that, but I'm hearing a lot about people are losing faith in politicians. They're losing faith in the process and being deceived by politicians. And I've heard from people that they're not going to vote for the Liberal candidate because she broke promises in 2015, that she didn't follow through, and that was a concern to them. And that the current leader of the Liberal Party and his deceit and scandals he's been caught up in just really, they don't feel like he has their best interest in mind when he's making decisions. And on the flip side, people saying they can't vote for the Conservative candidate because she's not available to them. She hasn't been coming to events. She's here tonight, which is amazing, but she hasn't really been available. And she's been avoiding the media. She's been avoiding the questions that people want to know, relationships with Faith Goldy, other questions that the media has that she's just not answering. And with Andrew Scheer and his questionable responses to same-sex marriage and a woman's right to choose, people have a hard time with those non-answers and those wishy-washy answers. They want transparency. And so I'm here to tell you that the NDP is a positive choice on the ballot. We're not caught up in scandals. We're genuine. Jagmeet has been deemed the most genuine leader of a party out there. And so we're here to champion the causes of Canadians. And I personally know that if I'm elected on October 21st, I'm here to champion your causes. And that's what I want to do. I will always have an open door policy. And I know that my job is to champion what you want for Kanata Carleton. And so that's what I'm going to do if elected on October 21st. So hopefully you come out to vote Melissa Conrad on October 21st so I can be that champion for your causes. Thank you.